You can have it all. That is the mission statement behind Sean Banks. The interview was so deep and it was so moving that even I was inspired by it. I hope and pray that you learn something from this, that you are encouraged. And if you do learn something, share it to somebody. Because Mr. Sean Banks, oh, he's the guy. Enjoy. We met at, what was his place? It's a rec center.
Frank Chester.
Right, the Frank Chester Rec Center.
Yeah.
And you were there doing an event.
Yes.
And you actually speaking too.
Yes.
And DeMarcus Smith was there. Remember DeMarcus?
Yep.
Who else was there?
DeMarcus Smith, Mo Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
I love Mo. So she was on there and we met then.
Yeah.
But we didn't exchange numbers until we got to this banquet thing.
Right.
So tell me this. By observing you, it's obvious that you want to change the world through young people, but through anybody who's willing to listen.
Absolutely.
So where does that drive come from?
So the drive for the You Can Have It All conferences and for everything that I do, that drive comes from my parents, primarily, well, my mother and my father.
Okay.
My mother, growing up, she owned a cleaning service,
Right.
so I watched her work really hard. Her determination is what got us out of the hood, so to speak, and to a better life. And my father is a very successful businessman, and I watched him as a little boy build businesses, and just as a man building businesses in America, he had to deal with a lot. But
What year was this he was in the business?
This was in the 80s.
Oh, so it was really tough for him.
So it was very tough for him. It was very tough for him because he was one of the only black men in the city doing what he was doing. Yes. So he had one of the first coffee shops in Seattle. And so at the time, it was Freddy's, which was my dad, Starbucks, and Seattle's Best. They were the only coffee shops. He had one of the only espresso machines at that time.
Wow.
So there was a lot of challenges that he dealt with that company and in real estate and things. And so I watched that. I was able to see what he was going through and how he was able to overcome it.
So seeing your dad go through all of that, how has that affected your life now today?
It's affected my life in a great way because it's one of the things that built my dream.
What is your dream?
My dream, well, I have so many, but one of the biggest things I want to do is impact the world through motivation. So we have a magazine called You Can Have It All magazine, and it's about raising extraordinary kids and motivating the world. And motivation is the same in America as it is in Africa, or the same in Indonesia or South America. Motivation is the same. Everybody wants more. And so my dream is to be able to go around the world showing people how they can have the life that they want, whatever that is, and how they can accomplish that. Yeah. So it sets me on fire.
Listen, man, I know as an influencer to another influencer, one of the problems that I have sometimes is that you can put content out there, but are people really grasping what you're saying? When you have those moments, what brings you back to the surface? Like, look, I got to do it no matter what. So when you have these moments as if a little bit of doubt.
Sure.
When you have doubt moments, who do you go to or who do you pray to? What happens to fill you back up? What do you do?
It's a great question that you asked, man, because one of the things that fuels me is, I learned from, it was Gary Vee that said it.
Gary
Vee was like, if it's one person that you're impacting,
Gary Vee.
Hey, that's the man. You know, he's like, if it's one person that you're impacting, then you keep going. And that's very hard when it's like only one person is like noticing what you're doing or whatever.
Right.
But you don't know how that's going to change their life.
Right.
And so one of the things.
And I'm pretty sure you've gotten so many emails, so many comments about how impactful your video has become. So I know you got them.
Yes.
So I know you feel that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're all right. So just being able to impact those people, someone to come up and say, hey, man, I saw your stuff.
Yeah.
They may not like it, hit the like button or do whatever, but it's like they're seeing it.
Yeah.
And especially when they see something that really hits home, I mean, if they're dealing with depression and you're talking about how to overcome depression, they're not going to like that because they don't want nobody else to think that they're depressed, but it's hitting home. And as far as prayer, I'm on my face because I don't have all the answers. And so when I have
That's big
those
that you say that.
challenges, yeah, it's like, all right, Lord, what do I do? So I have confessions that I have on my phone, and I have 100 pages of these things, right? And one of the things that I ask myself every day is, would God want you to stop? And the answer is no. Because the last thing I want to do is, when I die and go to heaven, right, or just having that rocking chair moment as an old man, and he's like, why'd you stop? Like, I carried you through all this. Why you stop? Why didn't you believe that I would do it? So, yeah.
Have you always been like this, or was this something that just came on to you as you got older? What did you go through to make you the person you are today?
Failure. I went through a lot of failure. I dealt with failure just throughout my whole life. And so what happened is that you touched on it earlier when we were talking, that failure is just a place, it's not a destination. And so going from failure.
Say that again. Say it again.
Failure is just a place, it's not a destination. It's a stage.
Right.
It's not a destination.
Right.
And so what helped was understanding that it was just a stage. And so, no, I was not always like this. I always worked hard. I was never the smartest kid in the class.
Talk about it.
I was never, I've been held back in classes,
Yeah.
been in what they call, oh, them was the dumb kids over there. I've
Yeah.
been through it all, but you were not gonna outwork me. I was not gonna stop trying. I was not gonna stop pressing. And so as I kept going, my confidence got up, because it's like, oh, okay, I was able to do this before. Maybe I can do this now. And so then something else would happen, and then something else would happen. And so it was step by step for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. T.D. Jakes said, you cannot lead if you do not read. So what are you reading at this moment right now?
I'm reading several books. I'm reading Les Brown's book, Live Your Dream,
great man.
again. Because Les Brown has a quote that I can recite the quote.
Say it.
I learned it when I was 19, okay? And I've never forgot it. Les Brown says, if you want a thing bad enough to fight for it, to work day and night for it,
Come on.
to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and a stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish or gulf, sickness of pain, or body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it.
Right.
Hey, 19,
Right.
okay? I know I still look like I'm 21, but it's been a long time. I never forgot that.
Wow.
Times I'd be crying at night. What am I supposed to do? I will remember that. Times I'd be in my car, there'd be water coming in my car, my foot would be
Let me
soaking
just
wet.
dissect that for a minute, because I know I don't know him personally, but I have studied him.
Yes.
And I have heard that that's how he ends all his things, by the way.
That's the thing.
I've heard that so many times, but I've never heard it and felt it just like you said it.
Man.
Even when he was saying it.
Yeah.
Got it. You got it, brother. You got it.
Yeah,
One of my
man.
favorite quotes by Les Brown, that says, in order to get what others don't have, you must be willing to do what others won't do to get it.
Absolutely.
His daughter just wrote a book, too. You heard about it? I don't know what the name of it, but he just wrote a book. But anyway, wow. Man, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
I have that quote on my wall.
So who do you study? Let's go back. Who
Okay.
do you study? Like, who do you watch closely? People that I watch closely are Tony Robinson, of course, Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Brene Brown, who else? Eric Thomas, Gary Zukav. You know who that is, right? Man, I forgot. It's one more. Toni Morrison. I like the way she uses her words, and how, especially T.D. Jakes. Come on. So who are people that you study?
I've studied. So first, my mother.
Oh man.
And
what
my
a great
father.
teacher mothers are.
Yeah. My mother and my father. My mother. I
Still
watched
living,
her.
both?
Still living. Yeah,
Good,
both
good,
still
good.
living. I watched them both work their butts off
Yeah.
to to accomplish things.
Yeah.
So watching my parents, and then I had people like a gentleman by the name of George Halsey. And George Halsey was a very wealthy man, and one of the first black men I had ever seen that wealthy before.
Yeah.
And I studied him when I was 19 and all the way up until the time that he passed. I learned a lot from George Halsey. Dexter Yeager is another one. I have all of Dexter Yeager's books. As a matter of fact, the quote, when the dream is big enough, the facts don't count, is Dexter Yeager. And Dexter Yeager, he was a man that just, you don't let anything steal your dream, which is another one. And then the list goes on from there.
So those are your, like I said earlier, Maya Angelou said that I come as one, but I stand as 10,000.
Sure.
So those are your 10,000 people.
Sure, yeah, that, my grandmother, my grandfathers. I study anybody that I can get my hands on for answers.
How do you use your time? Because I don't know about you, but I try to use my time productively. Like I don't watch anything that doesn't have any kind of good intention to it. I try. But TikTok is getting me a little bit. TikTok is
TikTok is good though,
and to be in the field that we're both in, as far as influencer, you got to go where the people are.
You got to go where they are.
TikTok's in a billion phones, so I'm on TikTok, and that distracts me a little bit. But how do you use your time, and what do you watch on a daily basis that keeps you centered. So that you can deliver like you just delivered today?
I watch, as far as TV, I don't watch much TV.
Right.
I don't watch much TV at all.
You got rid of mine. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's just, but I watch like entertainment just to get my mind off of things sometimes, sports or whatever. But I'm watching my pastor, so I'm watching Dr. Dollar regularly. I watch Dr. Dollar, I watch some Joel Osteen, I'll watch different people I see on social media that are moving and shaking. So I watch that. I read a lot. I read a lot. I listen to CDs a lot. I listen. I'm constantly pouring in information to keep my cup.
That's healthy. That's healthy. A lot of people don't know that. Tell me how important that is to pour in information to yourself. Well, a lot of people just watch things. Listen, T.D. Jakes said, I've been listening to him today. He said he can post a clip of his book, a video of it. But nobody buy the book, which means you're just getting a high, but you're not getting any wisdom. So how important is it to have a daily, let's say, spiritual practice? How important is that?
It's critical to your success to have a daily practice of getting full, because especially if you're doing anything for anybody else besides yourself, you have to be in the overflow where it's like coming over, because if not, you'll be empty. So you
won't have nothing to give.
You won't have anything to give. If you are a teacher, a preacher, a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, you have to be at the top of your game. So you got to put something in every single day so that you don't burn out. Part of burnout is that there's nothing else in the tank, so it burns out. Right? So you have to stay full. So it's critical to being successful, and it's critical, especially in this day and age, because people's attention spans are short. People will intentionally not like what you're doing. Okay.
Just because they don't like what you got on.
Just because they don't like what you got on.
Oh my God.
Right? How come I don't like what you? How come I don't hit the like button on your thing? Because I don't like it. That's why they don't like it. So, but if you don't stay full, then what happens? You give up. You cave in. You quit. Most people quit in the struggle, right? They're excited to start the dream. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
Why?
Then it's time to struggle and they give out.
Why they quit doing the struggle?
Because they let other people steal their dream. They let the dream get stolen.
Which means really wasn't no firm foundation there in the beginning. If you let somebody easily just come take your dream, there must not have been no firm foundation there in the beginning.
In the beginning, if it's easy to steal your dream, we might have to question if you really wanted it. Okay?
Or maybe you think it's gonna be an ego thing? So a lot of people, like, they say they want a business. Because they like what their name looks like on the building. But they don't want to know what it takes. Not only do they not know what they want to do, they don't even do the research to even begin the process. You know what I'm saying? So do you think it's an ego thing?
Well, let me ask you a question. How many people like to get dirty People don't like to get dirty. They want to be clean. So what do I mean by that? Going after your dream is a dirty job. It is roll up your sleeves, get to work kind of job because nobody's going to do it for you. So everybody likes to be clean, meaning that, their name is in lights. You see them everywhere.
I'm laughing at the dirty part, right.
Go
ahead.
But don't nobody want to have to get dirty. And going after your dream means you're going to get dirty.
Yeah.
You're going to get some dirt on you.
And it's not going to be easy.
And it's not going to be easy.
I don't think it's supposed to be easy, though.
No, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's not supposed to be easy. I mean, success, anybody can have success, but not everybody wants it.
Right.
There's no such thing as luck.
Can't nobody handle it either.
No, they can't handle it. It's responsibility.
Listen.
So much responsibility. So much.
But they don't. I think it's a lot of responsibility, but I also think this too is that people, they try it.
Yeah.
They get the business license.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens.
Right.
Here's the thing. Sometimes it is a blessing to be hidden.
Yes.
And I think about Tyler Perry because it took him 7 years for even Hollywood to even know his name. Mm. And because he is a billionaire now,
right,
in 2020,
yeah,
it's because they underestimated him because they didn't see those 7 years.
Right.
That's why it's a blessing,
right,
to be hidden. So
right.
people take that part, that season where you're hitting and nobody knows your name and you only get 10 views and 30 likes for a failure.
Right.
But Steve Harvey said that failure is success inside out.
Absolutely. And also it's remembering what it is that you prayed for.
But okay, now look, let's talk about that because people, they can pray and pray and pray and pray and pray, but God has already given you what you've already needed.
Absolutely.
Listen, I did a video about this because I got it from T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes said, I'm gonna quote him a lot. Don't judge me. Listen,
T.D. Jakes is my man.
Listen,
I love T.D.
He said, we're not praying for the right things.
Right.
We're praying for we're praying for things God have already given us. Nowhere in the Bible did God make a table. Did he make a chair? Did he make a wall? Did he make a wooden floor? But he gave us a tree.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're praying to God, if you just give me this and you just give me that and you just give me this. But God said, I already gave you the tree.
I already gave you the tree.
I already gave you what you needed.
Yeah.
So we're not praying for the right things.
No. We don't remember what we're praying for when we're going through challenges. So, okay, so you pray for a business, right? And you pray 5 years ago, Lord, bless me with a business.
Right.
And then one day you lose your job. And you're like, oh, God, why is this happening to me?
Right.
Why'd you do this to me? And you go through this whole thing.
Right.
And God's like, wait.
Right.
You remember all that praying, all that talking you was doing, like, Lord, bless me with a business. If you do, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get this money over here, and I'm going to do that.
Don't do nothing with it.
And God's like, bet, let's do it. Because the answer to prayers is what?
How many people do
yes and amen. Yeah, yeah. So then they go through the challenges, and it's like, why am I going through this, not realizing that it's really answers to your prayers.
But that's why businesses fail.
A lot of the reason,
Because people get into it for money.
Yeah.
I'm reading T.D. Jakes' book right now. It's
Okay.
called Sword. That's why I'm learning so much.
Now I got you.
And I'm learning a lot from you right now, too.
Yes, sir.
In his book, he says, if you want a business to last forever, for generations to come, it must fit a need.
It must.
This is why what you're doing, when you can have what you want, right?
Right, you can have it all.
You can have it all. It's so important because it fits a need.
Absolutely.
If it fits a need,
right,
it will last forever.
It
and
will
you
last
don't
forever.
have to worry about the money because the money will come.
Right.
Because people will pay.
Right.
Sick people, let's say like this, sick people who are in need, they will
Right.
pay any price to get it.
They will. They'll pay for it. I mean, and that's part of the reason why we're developing products for that fit a need. So we have flashcards, motivational flashcards that are talking to kids about words that they need to have to be able to build their confidence. Because when a child or a person thinks differently, they're gonna operate differently.
Right.
So for example, if a kid understands the word excel, E-X-C-E-L, right? And excel means to go to another level, to go
Right.
higher.
Right.
And then they understand that they can say, this is my opportunity to excel.
Right.
And they start confessing that, they're gonna start to excel. I wrote a book called Raising Extraordinary Kids, and part of that is talking about giving children the edge in life. And it's part of what people need now, not only in America, but they need it all over the world, because there is an issue with the kids, because that's the future. And so if we're not developing them and taking them to the next level, then when we get old, I mean, we're gonna be in trouble. So it's definitely, like you said, fitting a need. And so one of the things that we're doing is trying to fit that need with development projects. And you said one of the things that businesses fail is that they're not meeting a need, and that's true. Another one is they're not resourceful.
Break that down.
So one of the words in our flashcards that we have for kids is adapt, right? And people don't, and it's a problem that adults have, they don't learn how to adapt, right? So you hit a brick wall, you have a problem, or you can't go left, or that's right, so you can't go right. Right? Well, then what do? You have to adapt. You got to go left. Right. You have to figure out how to get around those things. And being resourceful is what is around me that I can use to be able to keep going to become successful. So businesses fail for lack of capital, right? They don't have enough money to be able to keep going.
Well, Dad, go ahead.
No. So how do I get capital to be able to keep going? Right. So you might have to sell you some fish dinners on the corner to keep your dream going. Right? You might, I remember one time I was having problems in my business. I had to drive limos. I had to be resourceful. I had to go drive limos, man. I was like driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah, but that's again, people won't do it because it's an ego thing.
Pride.
It's an ego thing.
Yeah, but it's pride before the fall. Pride will keep you broke.
You're watching an MSW production.